Istanbul, the city you don't just see. You feel an invitation to a city with a soul. Imagine a city in the world, a city where you can fall asleep on one continent and wake up on another. This is not a place that can be confined to a map or a history book. This is a memory spanning 8,500 years. A giant chest holding the power of Rome, the intrigue of Byzantium, and the magnificence of the Ottoman Empire in its every layer. Today, it's a sleepless giant with a dynamic population of over 16 million. But the heart of this giant beats to a rhythm you'd never expect. I'm here not just to talk about its stone and soil, but to tell you about its soul. To show you not what tourists see, but what travelers feel. So if you're ready, leave everything you think you know behind, because this is a journey into the heart of the legend. The stage of empires, the historical peninsula. To understand Istanbul, we must go to where it all began, the historical peninsula. This isn't just a square, it's a stage where three great empires once displayed their power. Before you stands one of the greatest works of architectural genius in human history. Hagia Sophia. The moment you step under this colossal dome, you feel time stand still. This isn't just a building, it's a sacred stage where emperors were once crowned and where the fates of religions and empires were decided. Directly opposite, rising as a gesture of respect, is an icon of elegance with its 6 minarets, the Sultan Ahmed Mosque. You'll immediately understand why Westerners call it the Blue Mosque, from the celestial atmosphere created by tens of thousands of blue Iznik tiles inside. But this square itself is an open-air museum. This was once the Hippodrome, the heart of Roman life, where chariot races were held before tens of thousands. See what remains from those days: the obelisk brought from Egypt, the serpent column from Delphi, and the German fountain, a gift from a German emperor. Each one tells a different story. And the secret beneath this square? The Basilica Cistern. As you walk among the reflections of hundreds of columns in the water, you feel like you're inside a fairy tale. The mystery of the Medusa heads, in particular, adds a completely different aura to this place. Let's proceed to the brain of the empire, Topkapi Palace. This was not just the home of the sultans, it was practically a city where decisions that ruled 3 continents were made, victories were celebrated, and intrigues were whispered. Just beyond its walls lies another treasure, the Istanbul Archaeological Museums. When you see the Alexander sarcophagus and the tablets of the Treaty of Kadesh, the first written treaty in history, you'll know you are walking in the cradle of civilization. Let's step away from the crowds of Sultanahmet and climb the hill overlooking the Golden Horn to the Süleymaniye Mosque, which the great architect Sinan called his masterpiece. The serenity and architectural genius here will show you that Istanbul also has a remarkably peaceful face. The rhythm of the city, Beyoğlu, bazaars and palaces. From the heart of history, we cross the Galata Bridge to where the city's modern rhythm beats. Beyoğlu, Istiklal Avenue, is like Istanbul's never-ending carnival. But don't just walk through. Look up and see the details on the historic facades. Pause for a moment in the historic atmosphere of the Çiçek Passage, the Flower Passage, and step into the courtyard of the St. Antoine Church, one of the largest Catholic churches in Europe, to enjoy a moment of silence. At the end of the avenue, the city's iconic guardian greets us, the Galata Tower. Watching Istanbul in 360 degrees from this tower makes you realize just how vast and magnificent the city is. Now, it's time to dive into the mysticism of the East, the Grand Bazaar. This is a labyrinth of 4,000 shops, a world where the scent of spices mingles with the colors of hand-woven carpets, and the sound of silversmithing blends with human laughter. And right next to it, the Spice Bazaar. The aroma of cinnamon and coffee in the air draws you in. This is the city's treasure chest of flavors. Colorful Turkish delights, medicinal herbs, rare spices, and a journey to the final period of the Ottoman Empire. Stretching like a swan along the shores of the Bosphorus, the Dolmabahce Palace. Unlike Topkapı, its Western-style architecture, enormous crystal chandeliers, and opulence show the changing face of the empire. And remember, this is also the place where Ataturk, the founder of the Turkish Republic, passed away, making it a site of immense spiritual value. Beyond the waters, the Bosphorus and Asian serenity. To truly understand Istanbul, you must see it from the sea. A Bosphorus tour is not just a trip, it's a meditation. To glide past historic waterfront mansions, palaces, and ancient fortresses like Rumeli Hisarı, while tossing a piece of cement to the seagulls with a glass of tea in hand. Believe me, this is Istanbul's most democratic luxury. And now, we're going to a place many tourists skip, but which holds the city's true soul, the Asian side. Kadıköy has a more intimate, local atmosphere, different from the majestic chaos of the European side. Get lost in its historic market among the fresh fish, pickles, and local delicacies. Then, take a walk along the coast to Moda. With its tranquility, boutique cafes, and magnificent sunset views, this neighborhood is like the city's sanctuary. Another gem of Asia is Üsküdar. Sitting on the marble steps right across from the Maiden's Tower and watching the sunset with a tea in your hand is one of Istanbul's most romantic moments, and the hill that lays the entire city at your feet, Çamlıca Hill. Watching both sides of the Bosphorus, the bridges, and the historical peninsula, all at once from here, makes you appreciate the city's sheer scale once more. The journey's start and golden tips. I'm sure the question on your mind is, so, how does my journey to this magical city begin? The answer is simple. On the European side, one of the world's largest, Istanbul Airport, IST. On the Asian side, Sabiha Gökçen Airport, SAW. From both airports, you can easily reach the city center with comfortable shuttle buses like Havaist or the metro lines. Once you've arrived, the real adventure begins. Here are a few secrets to navigate it like an Istanbulite. The most enjoyable way to escape the traffic is by sea. Get yourself an Istanbul cart and use the public ferries. They are the city's most scenic public transport. The best times to visit are in the spring and autumn, when the crowds are smaller and the weather is perfect. The Tulip Festival in April especially turns the city into a colorful painting. And here are two valuable tips about the Galata Tower. Of course, nothing can replace the feeling of climbing those historic stone stairs and touching its 600-year-old walls as you witness the 360-degree panorama of the city.